Alright, we are back in business, doing a review. We're going to announce this contest before we get off. We're doing a $20 Amazon gift card. So all you have to do to be entered to win the $20 card is be a subscriber. And you just got to hit that like button right down there. Give us a thumbs up and leave a comment on the video. That's it. And you'll be entered to win the $20 Amazon gift card. And we do pretty regular giveaways, I'd say almost every video for the time being. So you definitely want to be a subscriber so you can take part in that. Even if you don't win this one, there's a really good chance at some point you're going to win, just because I give away a lot of stuff. And anytime I get something sent to me by a sponsor or somebody that just wants me to test out their product, generally speaking, I usually give it away. Unless it's something that's just really unique and different, I decide to keep it. But overall, yeah, when I review something that's sent to me, I generally end up giving it away. So you definitely want to subscribe so you can take part in that. All right, we'll be back in a minute with the review. All right, we are out on the range today, hanging out with my new buddy Victor. We're going to be testing out the Rock Island Compact 1911. This is the carry model. This is like the shortened barrel, the 3.5-inch barrel. I got this to kind of subsidize my carrying collection, but we're going to shoot a mixed bag of ammo today. We got the Federal aluminum, and we got some brass, I want to say Perfecta. I think it's Perfecta. So let's see what happens. Alright, I am all over the map with that one. Yeah. Not bad. All right, we are loading it up. A little mixed bag here. Just gonna kind of alternate. First impressions of this thing, I am super impressed, to be honest. It's a little heavy on the carry side as far as 1911s are concerned, but you're getting that steel frame, so what can you really say about it? If you're into that whole compact 1911 world, this is definitely something you got to look at. This had that Kimber stamp on it. Be going for $700. See if I can do a little bit better. Those groupings were absolutely terrible. That's me. That has nothing to do with this gun. Let's see if I can remedy that issue. I think we did a little bit better on that one. A little bit more center mass. Yeah, bugs are all over this place. All right, we're gonna load it up. Go a little back and forth with some of the Federal and the Perfecta, just because we like to be difficult with things here. Try to see if we can make it jam up. Thus far, I am fairly impressed. No hang-ups whatsoever. Mostly operator error because I can't seem to get these groupings correctly, but we'll see. All right, let's give her a go. All right, give her another go. Soda bottle over here. Maybe not. I have to reload. I really wish they would send more than one magazine. All right, we're gonna give old Victor a shot here, see what he can do with it. Maybe he'll have better groupings than me. Not bad. What do you think?
It feels good. It's good for the size. It's not nearly as snappy for a 3-inch barrel.
I agree. All right, we're gonna let Mr. Victor give this a shot at these soda bottles, because that last round didn't work out, but that's just because I only have that one magazine. So let's see if he does better. Nice. Steel? Now we are at odds as far as the distance here, but I'm gonna guess this is around the 35, 40 yard range. I'm gonna see if I can reach out and touch some steel with this. Iron sights. What is it, 3 out of 7? The last few rounds that we have left for the Rock Island 1911 Compact. You guys know I'm not going to sit out here and preach too much about it, but obviously I want to say thank you again to shootsteel.com for sending this target out. Not trying to get on my pedestal here, but they sent it to us, and we appreciate that. You know, this is something we use often. So thanks, guys. We appreciate it. Check out the site. A little bit better on that run. Finally, I've been waiting to do this review for forever. It's been months. I've had this thing for a really long time, and I've really just been, you know, shooting it and enjoying it. We're going to do a review on it today. This is the Rock Island Compact 1911, and this is the tactical model, so it's kind of, you know, all blacked out, whatever I guess that means. There's nothing really special about it per se that makes it any different from other, you know, manufacturers' compacts. Today we're drinking a cup of coffee, and I don't want you to think that this is Starbucks, because it definitely is not. It's getting hot, so I threw in some coffee in my little jar there and put it in the fridge just so I could, you know, have some cold coffee to drink instead of having to pay for, you know, McDonald's or something. Anyway, talking about guns today. This one was, I kind of made an impulse purchase on this, and the reason for this review was because when I was looking at it, I was so infatuated with the idea of a cheap carry 1911, something small enough that you could carry it around and not worry about it poking out the back of your shirt. And I didn't want to spend $700, $800, $900 for a Kimber or a Springfield or a Colt, so I decided to, you know, check into Rock Island a little bit further. The company itself is based here in the U.S., so I think it's out of, I can't even remember. I want to say Florida, but I'm not sure. This model and most of the stuff that they manufacture is produced in the Philippines, though. And for me, that's not you know, an issue, because if you are looking into guns that are made overseas, when it comes down to this brand and the company that produces it, these things are freaking well put together, guys. I mean, look at this thing. It may have a little bit of splotchiness and oil on it. I haven't cleaned it since I fired it, but it is just awesome. This matte finish is so cool. And this is just like a parkerized finish on this thing. But I have been thoroughly impressed, and that was the main reason. When I bought this thing, I wanted to see if there was a review online, and I looked and looked and looked, and I only found two. On this specific model, I only found two, and the two that I found were like quick 2-minute videos just kind of bragging and showing off. They weren't really going into detail, and the camera was so blurry that I couldn't see anything on it. And I really wanted to kind of get an idea about the finish on the gun. I wanted to see if it was worth it, if it was going to come out all banged up, or whatever the case may be. And that really didn't satisfy my need for knowledge on this gun, you know, per se. Anyway, I'll give you a quick look at her, so don't mind the light. It's just kind of but this finish is so awesome. I am digging this. There was not a flaw on this thing. Somebody freaked out about the serial number, so I'll try to cover that up as best I can. But as you can tell, this is the carry model, the 45 ACP carry model. And it comes with one magazine, which really sucks in my opinion, but I mean, I only spent I spent $450 on this gun. Brand new, $450. So I'm not going to complain about only getting one 7-round magazine. You can buy more. You can get them at gun shows or your local shops. These magazines are plentiful, and you can find them everywhere. I mean, it's really not a big deal. 1911 magazines will fit in this gun, even the full-size one, the 8-rounders. You'll just have that little extended tail there out the bottom, which is not a problem for me. I don't mind having these smaller ones. I purchased this because I was looking to kind of add on to my carry collection, and a lot of the people I know that carry, or a lot of people that, you know, talk about it that I run into, they talk about how they really enjoy, you know, a 1911 platform, and that's all well and good. Generally speaking, when you get an actual 1911 or one that's kind of a spin-off version, you're going to have an all-steel gun, and that's what this one is. So they make a couple of different ones, like SIG makes a couple, and I can't even remember some of the other ones, but they make them with aluminum frames, like a lightweight model as it was. But this one is all steel, so this is a very heavy gun. It's not overwhelmingly heavy, but you're definitely going to notice, as opposed to like a polymer frame gun or a Glock or even the Springfield XD, something like that. This is obviously more notably heavy, and that's okay for some people. Some people don't mind that. If you don't mind the actual weight of a 1911 in general, if you've ever fired one, this is very, very similar. And like I've said in my previous videos, I'm not going to go into the details and the specs on these guns, because if you really care, then you can Google it and look it up yourself, just because that's not what I'm about here. We're going to talk about the actual feel of the gun, how it feels when you carry it. Now, if you've been following the channel, most people know that I carry inside the waistband. And that's just because I don't, you know, for one, I don't want to startle anybody. So if I'm carrying outside the waistband, I just feel like it's kind of inconsiderate. And, you know, that's neither here nor there. Some people do, and it's not a big deal. I just don't want to go into taking my daughter out to lunch or something and have to cover up, you know, because I feel like it's kind of it bothers some people. And just to be considerate, you know, I like to carry inside the waistband. So when you're carrying this thing, you definitely notice it, especially inside the pants. It feels a little heavy around on the waist, and that's not really a problem for some people, especially if you have, you know, a sturdy belt. That's not an issue. But for me, I like a little bit lighter frame guns. So this one was a little bit a little overwhelming for me in that sense of the word. But overall, as far as actual, you know, ergonomics and feel, this thing is awesome. Check out those sweet Novak sights. Definitely digging those. Now, they could have done something as far as like painting these little dots. I don't know if you can tell, but there are, let's see if I can, there we go. It's getting a little better. There are 2 dots right there, kind of little markings. I don't know why they wouldn't paint those. Why would you put the dots there if you didn't want to paint them? But these sights are a little difficult to pick up at nighttime, obviously, because they're black, so it's a little bit harder. But they are replaceable, so you can just kind of slide those things out of there. And that was one of the benefits of this firearm, is that it came with these Novak style sights. Because like in the T-Sauce video I did, those are just kind of attached to the gun. It's like part of the slide. You can't take them off. So this was definitely a bonus in that department. Now, one of the things I commented on in the earlier part of the video was that this is a right-handed gun primarily. And the reason being is because the slide stop right there and the safety are only on the right side, or left side, excuse me. But yeah, like if you look here, you don't have either of those things here. And that's not a problem for me, because with enough practice, you can, you know, let's put the safety up. All right, so the safety's up, and if you're drawing this thing out and you thumb that safety prior to pulling it or as you're pulling it, you can get enough practice in where you're proficient in using this thing. As far as the price for it, I mean, spending $450 on a compact carry 1911, look at everything you're getting. I mean, you're getting a skeletonized trigger, a skeletonized hammer. This is all stock with this thing. Super, super nice. These grips, they look aggressive, and I understand that they look kind of like G10. Well, that's one thing that I really actually like about this, is if you look at these is just texturized rubber. You can push as hard as you want on this, and it just kind of, you know, conforms to your hand. It's not an issue. And they feel really, really good. Now, one thing that I wish I could have done, I don't have my ruler with me today, but for those of you that follow the channel, and you know that from here to here is under 3 inches for me. So obviously it's a little bit wider out here, but this is a 3-inch grip. That's what that is. So if your hand is, you know, bigger than 3 inches, that's going to kind of offer some sort of idea how this thing fits. But if you're looking at my hand, that pinky, as far as where it's going to go on the gun, you got a little bit of playroom right there, you know? It's not going to, you know, overlap too much. That's the size of this thing. It is just a dream as far as how it feels in hand. Now, one thing that I did kind of notice that some people might complain about is, let's see if I can focus here. There is kind of a very aggressive looking back spot right there. I mean, it's very texturized, but you know what? You don't even notice that. I mean, I've been shooting this thing all day, and you can look at my hand. There's no red spots. Nothing really wrong there. I don't have a problem with it. So that doesn't bother me one bit. And then if you look underneath, it also has this, like, I don't know why those are there, but that doesn't do anything. That's just for look, I guess. Either way, not a big deal. Let's see here. I'm gonna drop this magazine. All right, inside, kind of cool looking. I don't know if you can see in there. It's a little dirty, but you know, whatever else. The one thing that was kind of, you know, bugging me in the video was that the guide rod was sticking out when we fired one of those last few rounds. And the only reason that that actually happened was because that aluminum ammo got hung up in here, and I guess it didn't, you know, go into battery right away, which is fine. It was just that one round that really, you know, kind of threw off the video a little bit. Didn't bother it too much, but we got it reseated, fired it off, not a big deal. I just don't, in general, condone aluminum ammo just because it doesn't seem to work well. And that's not just with this gun, that's with all the guns I use. That's why we use that ammo, is just because we want to see what it's going to do in each firearm. And generally speaking, we almost always have a failure of some kind when we use that stuff. So, aluminum ammo, This is kind of cool. I like how it has this kind of belled out barrel. That's unique in itself. I haven't seen that in too many guns. I mean, there's a few here and there, but I really like how it kind of curves out like that. I'm not sure how that works as far as, you know, whether or not it helps with accuracy or anything like that. If you have information on that, please feel free to comment. But it definitely was a kind of a cool look to it. I really like how it makes the gun look here. One of the things that was hanging me up in the video was this trigger. So it's very just plain Jane. It doesn't have any take up or any kind of, you know, specialty stuff to it. It's just a very plain trigger. That's it. And then you reset it, and it's just the same as all kinds of 1911s. See, but there's nothing else right there. There's no leeway. It's just very straightforward. It's kind of stiff as far as, you know, it's just being a little bit on the blocky side. But as far as pulling the trigger, it doesn't take much effort at all. I mean, it's not, I'd say it's lighter. I'd put it on the 4 to 5 pound range. So really, really light trigger. Not very comfortable though. Very blocky feeling. So that's, you know, whether or not you actually care about that. You can get aftermarket stuff. This thing though, really, really happy with it. The company itself, Rock Island, they are fantastic from what I hear. They're based out of, you know, the U.S., but they do offer a lifetime warranty on this. So if you have an issue or something goes wrong with the gun, it's lifetime. And that is so rare these days in gun companies. Generally speaking, if you're looking at like High Point or Taurus, those cheaper end companies, they have lifetime warranties as well. Glock and, well, you know, all the big name companies, they usually do limited lifetime warranties or 1 year warranty, 2 year warranty. I think Car does like a 5 year warranty. That's awesome. You're getting a compact, all steel, well machined 1911 that you can carry with a lifetime warranty. Where are you going to see that anywhere else? I mean, I'm so impressed by that. I really am. Now here's the real kicker on this. This thing cost me $450. I paid $450 for this, brand new, out the door. Love that. I mean, I'm just so happy with that. Now, if you go on some of the websites that you can purchase these on nowadays, they may be a little bit more expensive than that. I got a really good deal on this. When I found it, I jumped on it. But I only paid $450 for this. I think they're up to like $470 now, but that's still a good deal. I mean, if you look at any of these other companies that produce 1911s in this size, they are up there. They are just shy of $1,000, generally speaking. So I don't know. This one was definitely worth it in my opinion. I would go at least get hands on it if you have an opportunity. But trust me when I say that if you buy this, you are not going to be disappointed. You really aren't. And you can replace the two things that really were kind of an issue were this trigger for me and the sights. And both of those things are replaceable. So if you wanted to go buy one of these and then replace the trigger and the sights with night sights and maybe a lighter trigger, I mean, there you go. You spent less than $500 and you've really upgraded everything. Or you spent under $600. So trust in the fact that if you pick one of these up, you are absolutely going to love it. All right, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. We've got some really, really cool stuff coming on. I got a kind of a... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to tell you about that yet, but we have some really cool stuff down the road in the very near future. So make sure that you subscribe so you can get to see that content first. Later.